I was talking, maybe we could expand the coffee waste in order to have a bigger, and now you were saying maybe you could expand producing new products, because then this is the chain. Sometimes we limit the chain of mushrooms, fresh mushrooms, but you can create new things. So I think this is amazing thing. What we have been trying to do is stimulating companies that, especially synergies. I think we have been noticing that based on some waste streams, we can create amazing products with other companies. And I think here what we have is that maybe we need to expand, and not so easy. Nathan was saying that I need very fresh waste streams. I cannot contaminate them. So that means a logistic that sometimes is complex, but if you engage new partners that can help there, I think we can move forward to a new product. Gunther mentioned, in fact, the scale, and I think maybe now we can collaborate with some more companies that could expand this business. But I think it's an amazing, and I already congratulate Nathan for this project, because I was commenting in a meeting last week in order to promote circular economy in Portugal, and I think what we miss a lot is entrepreneurs, because at the moment, not the biggest companies are difficult to start this movement of circular economy. So that's why I ask all the younger researchers and professionals that look for these new opportunities, because we need them. Otherwise, it's very difficult to start new business. I noticed that. So, and today I think, Antonio, we were talking about disruption, in this case of circular economy, new products. And 4 years ago, we were organizing with the Portugal Foods, that is the cluster for agro-food system, and we create different projects, a big project with more than 45 partners. But my responsibility in terms of coordination was to coordinate one of the projects that was dealing with circular economy. So, and we decided to be challenging for the companies, like what you have that in fact you are not valorizing. What is your main problem in your company? So, and here, when you talk about this, I think 1/3 for a long time, we have this number in our, but in fact, when you look about what we need to do until 2030 to reduce 50%, I think the difference, we don't change, we have not changing the 1/3, but we didn't change yet the 50%. So we need to fight and help companies to try to create this concept of, I think it's not working, of regeneration in the cycle of agro-food system. Especially you have been working a lot in this concept of biorefinery, trying to get as much as possible from a waste stream. So we create this more food. I think there was something happened to the presentation. It's not a problem. Just to tell you that when we deal with this type of projects, we try to look for first who can supply the waste streams. And here we have been trying to integrate companies from the meat industry, Central Carnes. We have been integrating ITS, is an animal feeding company that is really interested to valorize the products, and also then meat products, fish products, and vegetables. So we try to integrate them, and we try to solve some of most difficult problems. One is the blood, that they have problems until now. They have to pay to destroy pig air, for instance. We also had, when ITS has a problem that is contaminated flowers, they need to burn, and so we also work with that. And then some waste effluents that are very costly for the companies, either from meat or fish industry, and then Vitacrest to provide some of the losses they have in the field. But also we had to integrate all the research, because we need to be multidisciplinary team, otherwise it's impossible to work. And also we try to integrate companies that are transforming. And this is the gap in Portugal. We don't have companies that try to create new products, but even all of them would like to use the products. So we have a lot of end users potential, but we don't have almost transformers here. So in this case, we were valorizing byproducts rich in proteins. And why? Because we try to integrate technology. Sometimes it's difficult to have a technology just for a byproduct, but if you can use different byproducts with the same technology, we can maximize. Our objective is always zero waste, so try to get until the end. Sometimes even we have some energy, but most of the times we try as much as possible to integrate in this agro-food system. And mostly here we were creating synergy, especially symbiosis between companies, and we had a huge multidisciplinary team. So we tried to do crazy things. When I say crazy, out of box, some of them, but always thinking about final products. So we work with the waste rich in proteins, waste effluents from meat and fish industry, aromas, we lose a lot of aromas in the industry. We don't think about it. Every day we lose them. We can also take value from these aromas that circulate in an industry. And finally, the vegetables. And we always work on collaborating with another sub-projects that were logistic, otherwise if you don't think about logistics of this waste stream, it's difficult, and of course the consumer to see if they accept the final products, because sometimes the trust in these products are really difficult for some consumers. So we did especially crazy things like transforming in new ingredients with value from the blood, and we also use the contaminated flowers through pyrolysis, and we produce a very calorific power energy in this bio-oil. We also valorize the components from the serum that is released and disposed every day, and we create a new product for the company. And then even for meat industry, we could combine all the small pieces of meat that is lost, and we create some emulsified products with Primor. And finally, we test with new products. We need to demonstrate the potential. So here, we could create 3 hydrolysates, 2 of them, the darker color, low value, that we decide to test in aquaculture. And the white one with high value, nutritional value, we decide to apply in the food industry. So here we can see in the aquaculture, we decide to test our ingredients, one extra from Universidade do Minho, that is an autohydrolysate, and see how is going. The growth of this fish is growing well. We add 3%, but the challenge was, can we have a very extra effect with these hydrolysates? And we challenged the fish, and we contaminated when one of the biggest pathogens in aquaculture, that is Tenacibalum maritimum. So what we noticed is that we have the contamination led to 40% of death in all the fishes, and one of our extracts reduced the infection up to 3%. So we could find through this hydrolysate a very important antimicrobial that could be in future, because at the moment we are transferring the patent to a company, can be a very interesting natural antimicrobial that can replace antibiotics in aquaculture. So, and in this case, in the case of the food, we could use that extract. We are now a very high protein content, very rich in amino acids, and besides that, we look for antioxidant, and even it can modulate our microbiota. So this is a very interesting ingredient that can be added, and you have been developing some products with this for food nutrition and even elderly. So in the case of aromas, they are in fact difficult to valorize. But when you think about wastewater from the fish canning industry, they have a lot of fat. This fat is very rich in polyunsaturated fatty acids. So the first thing, we take the omega-3 enriched oil. Then we have a concentrate of peptides. All of them can be sold by as an ingredient. But finally, Universidade Nova de Lisboa, they have a technology. They clean the aroma, and we create a new aroma that can be sold as fish aroma. That you look, why fish aroma? But in fact, fish aroma could be interesting. And what we did was a big study where we tried to use it in aquaculture to attract and to promote the animal feeding for sea bass as a polyutilizer. That means they can consume more and can increase the growth rates. And this was a very interesting study demonstrating that these ingredients can be used. But also in sardine, I don't know, in canning industry, if you have a mature sardine canning, you have a better taste. So we also use this oil to induce this maturation. For the vegetables, what we were doing with Vitacres, we were drying several or testing different vegetables from tomato, carrot, etc. We create new products either as pulps or also we create some powders. At that moment we can produce bread and different new products that can be incorporated in different industries. At the same time, in this case, they create 2 new products that can be sold at the same time with their ready-to-eat fruits and vegetables, is the case of pulps and also what they call the super antioxidant purees. And also Primor could combine and create a vegetable plant-based ham based in these byproducts, or even we did with the low quality that is not safe for food, BLC3s with Vitacres create a new biofertilizer that is now used to produce mushrooms also in this case. And then for the effluents that are really, really high organic matter, especially from meat industry, what we try to do as example, we try different things is a high organic matter, and in this case, at the group of Paulo Castro, they could start growing microalgae in this waste stream directly without any solution, no pre-processing. We could create new biomass that now can be incorporated. So this is more some examples where with a very symbiotic strategy, we create 29 prototypes that now we hope part of them could be implemented with new companies, because not all the bigger, large companies can do it, and several technological solutions that in fact some of them are being implemented or transferred. Just with this knowledge that we have been working in Católica University and several Portuguese companies, we were visiting in the United States, and we also create a big project in the case of valorizing waste streams from valorization pipeline. And here we have one of the projects that is finishing next year, that is the project with Amyris, we call Alchemy. This project is also challenging because from the different byproducts from sugarcane, ashes from sugarcane straw, until the different fermentation like products like yeast, we have been creating at the moment more than new 32 products, and we have at the moment a big platform with 75 researchers working in these waste streams that can lead up to these 32 products. And just to show you probably one of most circular products we have been generating in this project is now in CMOs, trying to be implemented, is at the moment what we call the biosilica, is the first biogenic silica that in fact was producing from the ashes. In Brazil, they have the bagasse, they burn the bagasse, and then they have ashes. From these ashes, we have a high level of silica because, probably you don't know, but when in the field, the sugar can absorb a lot of silica. So when we transform it in ashes, the ashes has containing all the silica that initially the plant absorbed from the soil. So in this case, we could transform this silica, purify in a biosilica. In this case, the biosilica is used a lot for cosmetic, food industry, etc. For now, we are creating a new ingredient that we call biosilica for clean beauty with Amyris, and that is already tested for more than 40 companies in the world. And now, just to tell also, it's difficult at the moment is to have new CMOs, because the problem, most of the CMOs we have in the world, they are used for traditional technology. So the challenge when we move to circular economy is to have and adapt what we have is with the new technology. So this stage between the pilot to the pre-industrialization and industrialization is in fact sometimes a delay when you talk about circular economy. So it's something we need also to invest, and it's also a learning process for us at the moment. So thank you so much for your time.